This is Phil Weller for Get Your Rock Out. We're downstairs near some toilets in a pub just around the corner from the venue, and I'm joined with Jeremy from Monster Truck. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm pretty good, man. We found ourselves a little weird spot to do this interview today because it's raining and busy and sound checking everywhere.
So how has the tour been then? It's the last night of the tour.
Well, it's the last night of this little leg of the tour. I mean, we're just continuing right on to mainland Europe and doing our own run for about 12 to 13 days before we head over to the United States and start a tour over there. So it doesn't feel like anything's ending. It's just a kind of a continuation. The nice fact is that we've got a day off tomorrow, which is sorely needed after the partying of last night and likely tonight.
Well, that was going to be my next question. With it being the last night of the tour, do you go out and be a bit more crazy?
I mean, yeah, especially because it's our last night with the Scorpion Child guys. I know actually they've got to leave tonight because they're going to Brussels overnight, so that's a little crazy. But for us, it's a party because we have a day off tomorrow, so you can go a little bit harder, and I don't have to worry as much about having to be able to perform tomorrow.
How have you met the Scorpion Child guys before this tour then? How have you been getting on?
Yeah, we met them at a festival that we played at the end of the Vistacino run. We saw that they were on the bill, and we made sure to kind of touch base with them, and we kind of knew just from that quick meeting that it was going to be really cool with those guys, and they were just good dudes and kind of cut from the same cloth, so to speak. So. Yeah, it's just been great. It seems like it's come and gone so quickly. I think there's only maybe 9 or 10 shows, and it's just gone so fast that it's surprising to think that it's almost over with that side of the tour.
I mean, you've got this Classic Rock and Metal Hammer's name on the festival, but who are the personnel that brought the bands together? Because like you said, you're cut from the same cloth as both bands on the bill.
Yeah, I think that's the work of Metal Hammer and Team Rock, really. I mean, I don't know who pulls the strings up above for those things. It's kind of weird to think about, the fact that we don't know. But we really don't have much of an idea. We just know that it was put, like the tour was put together by Metal Hammer, who kind of handpicked the bands as, unknown to me, but they did a good job because in addition to Scorpion Child, Buffalo Summer has been a nice surprise for us too, and we've never been on a tour where we enjoyed the other opening bands so much, both of them. So it's been really cool for us. It's actually hopefully going to grow into a bit more of relationship. We hope to bring them to Canada or do additional dates in the future with either of them.
So with it being a co-headline, I mean, Scorpion Child play after you guys tonight, and it's been alternating throughout the tour. Is there a sense of friendly competition every night to sort of try and outdo each other in a way?
A little bit. I think what's happened is that right before the beginning of this tour, we started getting a ton of radio play. So I feel kind of like we have been the kind of. It's hard, I don't know how to put it. The nights that we headline and feel really good. The nights that we don't headline still feel really good. I think there's a bit of friendly competition, but it's kind of a situation where the radio play that we've had has helped us kind of move the band a little, maybe a bit further ahead than where they're at now. And it's I don't know how to put it really. I feel like we've been the headliner most of the nights, regardless of what spot we played.
With it being a co-headliner, there's going to be people there who are there predominantly for Scorpion Child or for Buffalo Summer. I mean, they're a UK band.
Yeah.
So has it been good to go out and sort of win over some more neutrals every night?
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of comes down to what you're into. Like they do a really, really awesome kind of more kind of I don't know how to put it. Their set, they really make sure that their set is one complete item. I know that they're really all about the album, and they really like to have the album kind of be like an experience, so to speak, from beginning to end, whereas we're more of a bang, bang, bang kind of song after song after song. We can kind of interchange them, put them anywhere. It's just two kind of different approaches, so it kind of depends what you're into, Like we like really quick, fast, short, fucking blaster rock songs, and they go for a more bigger visioned approach. And, if we win people over, it's probably because they like the more, fast, get it now, get it quick, and move on to the next thing kind of idea. And if you kind of like the grand scope kind of vibe of a rock show, then you'd probably be more into Scorpion Child. So we take what we can get.
If you look at this bill where it's three very similar bands, and you played Hammerfest the other week where I think there was a power metal band on before you,
Yeah.
then Corrosion of Conformity and Creator on after you,
Yeah.
which is a very, very varied bill. Does it make it easier or harder in that sense, if you were to compare the two tours in terms of the fans that they attract?
It's way easier doing this tour. That was really kind of an awkward feeling doing that. I mean, there's definitely some people in the crowd that were into it. There's definitely, it was definitely a great show for us to play. But as far as the reactions and what's most fun for us, it's definitely been this tour and playing to the Scorpion Child fans and playing to our own fans, which we didn't even realize we had so many over here. This has been like a huge kind of surprise for us to come here and have people singing along and getting into the show and everything. So it's just been a lot of fun. We've been just sending word back home about how much we've been enjoying this tour and how surprised we've been with the reaction that we've been getting.
With this being the Lords of the Riff tour, it would be a crime for us to not speak about riffs for a little bit. You're a big Nirvana fan, so apart from those, what are the kind of riffs that turned you on to playing guitar in the first place?
Yeah, well, see, Nirvana's not really much of a riff band, so if we're going to talk about riffs, it's going to be, the bands that really got me going with that were like Grand Funk Railroad. They were, especially 69 to 72, they were the kind of band that really kind of almost pioneered that whole kind of genre and idea, along with Led Zeppelin shortly after, who did a kind of a very different kind of style of riff rock. I feel weird calling it that because they had such a more complex kind of way about them than to just be called a riff rock band. But anyways, that's mostly the classic rock bands. I always think about Black Keys' Magic Potion record, because that record is just one riff, every song, different riffs. It's always single, and especially with that record, there's no bass. It's just guitar and drums, and it's so powerful, and it's just such a great album. And I find it hilarious because I know that for a fact that they don't like that record very much. They kind of did that record, and then were like, we're never going to do anything like that again. And I was like, you guys are fucking crazy, because it's my favorite, not only my favorite Black Keys record, one of my favorite albums of all time. And I think that shows really the power of what you can do with just a single guitar riff if you use it properly with a really great vocal melody and a good drum beat.
I do love how different music can be. I mean, there's bands that Metallica spring to mind, for instance, where they have great songs and they have 1,000 riffs in a song and it's fantastic, but at the same time you can just have really simple, like White Stripes are another band in the Black Keys territory.
Repetitive, simple. I mean, we kind of stick to that side of things. We just get from one part to the next and we do it in a pretty basic way, but it's we use the vocal melody and the kind of the extra vibe that the organ brings to the table to kind of make it a little bit different, or at least, add something else to the equation, so it's not just, it's not overly simplistic. We kind of walk that line by adding some different sonics in and making sure that the vocal melody is super catchy.
And are there any riffs out there that you feel are really underrated? I mean, I'm a big Deep Purple fan, and I've been really, really into the Maybe I'm a Leo riff recently. I think that's they've got amazing riffs with Smoke on the Water.
Smoke on the Water has been beaten to death for me. I'm not as interested in that song. I could not hear it for 10 years, and that would be okay with me. But I love Deep Purple, and they've got some amazing songs. I'm trying to think of an underrated riff, though, to answer the question. I go back to the Black Keys Magic Potion record because I feel like that record is underappreciated. I mean, they really didn't do much for them. Attack and Release right after that is really the record that kind of got them really on people's radar. So if anything, I think that record is underappreciated because I think there's probably even a ton of Black Keys fans that don't have that album and don't know that record. And for anyone that falls into that category, it would be something I would highly recommend.
So what is next for you after this tour? You say you're going off to Europe, and then is it just constant touring, or do you have plans for new material? And
all of those things. We're working on new material already. We got tons of tours coming. We're going to keep working on new material and get ready to write again, but it's not going to happen for a while, so we just want to start now to make sure that we're prepared.
What is the new material sort of in the same vein then? I mean, are you always writing when you're on tour, or is it a case of stopping when you have a few days to yourself? Do you rehearsal?
It just happens when it happens. Sometimes it happens at soundcheck. We all of a sudden started writing a song at soundcheck the other day, just out of the blue, just because you're fucking around on the guitar, working on your sound, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's actually pretty good, and then you record it right away because you'll forget it. you know, it's something we always try and keep in mind because the last thing you want to do is be rushed and be running out of time when the label wants a record. And you know, we just want to make sure that we don't deviate. To answer the question, it's going to be a lot of the similar flavors you got on Furiosity, but I think we're going to have a couple extra songs like For the Sun and My Love Is True, a couple more vibey songs like that. We're just finding that when we have to do an hour and a half show, we're fucking running out of gas, just energy-wise, having to play 14 hard and fast rock songs in a row. So we're going to keep that vibe going, but we're also going to add to the mix and you know, kind of continue on with that idea of giving some different flavors on the record.
How have you been finding playing songs like For the Sun live? Because you played it at Hammerfest, and with it being a more metallic, heavier audience, I mean,
Yeah.
I was personally just stood there awestruck. I loved the song, and it was great to see it live. But there was a few people there who, you know, murmuring and started talking amongst themselves.
Yeah. It's going to happen at a festival like that. Our thinking is that fuck 'em. It's one of our favorite songs to play live. I think it's one of our best songs. I think everyone in the band feels that way. So, you know, we used to kind of tailor the set depending on the type of show we were playing. We don't do it anymore. We say the people that are going to like us are going to like us, and we want to give them the set that they deserve, which is what we think is our best set. And if there's people in there that don't like it, then they're just going to have to wait for Corrosion of Conformity to come up next and rip their face off.
And it's a great way to end it.
Yeah,
Jeremy, cheers for your time.
Thanks very much. I got to go sound check.